All right, and we are live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Becoming Alpha podcast. I am your host, Dan. As always, we got Brandon behind, and we are joined with Morgan Shae, certified health and wellness trainer. Thank you for coming on, Morgan.
No problem.
Awesome. It's really great to have you on, actually, because you are our first health and wellness trainer.
Athletic trainer.
Get it right, Dan.
I'm sorry. The athletic trainer. Well, I don't know. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So an athletic trainer, the reason I said that is very different from, and I might have to yell at my dog in the middle of this, is very different than a personal trainer, which is why I correct that. So an athletic trainer is a medical professional that has orthopedic background, can do orthopedic assessment, injury assessment, corrective exercises, rehabilitation, kind of like the whole 9 yards. So,
and personal trainer doesn't go that far.
No, a personal trainer, all you really need is an online certification that if you wanted to jump on today and take the test, you hypothetically could. But an athletic trainer, actually, they just moved to a master's. So you need a master's degree to practice.
So you got it just in time.
Yeah, I got a bachelor's, but you do need a master's now to practice. And then you also need to be licensed with the state that you are practicing in.
So did you go to college for that, I assume?
I did. I went to UW-Milwaukee, right down the street.
Hell yeah. Go UWM.
Graduated in 2014. And then I worked for a corporate company for 6 years in sports medicine.
What company is that?
ATI, physical therapy.
Okay.
So I worked in their sports medicine department with various sports clubs providing medical coverage on site, emergency care, concussion care, breaks, sprains, strains, blood, all that fun stuff.
All the fun red stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun.
So how'd you know that you wanted to get into this?
I didn't.
It just kind of happened?
It was very impulsive. I never planned on being an entrepreneur. It was never in the cards. Never really thought about it at all, honestly, until kind of last spring of 2019. I was getting a little burnt out at my corporate job. Wasn't feeling like I had that spark anymore. The quality of care wasn't necessarily where I wanted it to be for my athletes and my patients. So I noticed a lot of people around me, like in the MMA community and other active communities I was a part of, always complaining about their body hurting. And I always wanted to help them, but I didn't have the time, the resources. I could give them a couple tips, but it would really frustrate me because I always wanted to fix them.
Yeah.
So I think it just kind of, the idea spiraled from there, but it wasn't me wanting a business necessarily. It was just me trying to find my path into re-sparking that passion.
So it was like solving a problem, but also solving your passions, or
it's like supply and demand. It was like fulfilling a need and then also getting myself to be independent from working from somebody.
Were you full-time at ATI?
I actually just worked for them up through like pre-pandemic. And then my position was actually recently eliminated because of COVID.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did you want that to
great.
happen?
It's kind of.
Yes and no?
I feel like be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because yes, from, a dream perspective, yes, I wanted that to happen. From a financial perspective, I wasn't sure if I was ready for that to happen, but it happened either way. So it's just kind of like, I have a thing where I think whatever you think really manifests into reality. So I was thinking about that very often, and it just kind of manifested itself.
Well, perfect. Strange how things work out. That's what we've been doing.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Is seeing a vision and acting upon it. We got like words written down on the board, like don't say these words. Not like bad words, but like the so, buts. Like whenever we're in client meetings, it's like we can't be what are some other ones?
I say so, cool, awesome. It's essentially taking things that you don't like things and taking those words and replacing them with better vocabulary. So when your mind wants there's another one wants to say it. Instead, you replace it with words. They're making minor improvements and putting something in place to make yourself think of that.
Pausing instead of saying, I try to do that.
Yeah.
It is hard. But
More so for us because we're trying to do this podcast. So.
Right.
Yeah,
Professionalism.
Trying to be articulate.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. So would you say that this started because of MMA or Rufus sport in particular?
I think it definitely pushed me into it because there are a lot of people in need of injury help in that community.
Oh, yeah.
And one day, I actually remembered, this is kind of what pushed me over the edge, is one day, one of my friends, you actually know
Who's
this
that?
person, shout out Tommy.
Oh, yeah,
Gershesky.
I know Tommy.
Tommy G.
Tommy G is really good.
Yeah,
really good at wrestling.
He's a man.
Really good at jiu-jitsu.
Dan, you always talk about how you could take him.
No, I think I've rolled with Tommy.
That, Tommy?
Yeah, I think I've rolled with him a couple times.
Get him,
He
Tommy.
Smacked me.
Well,
Get
I
him,
think
Tommy.
I think I can take Tommy. So
Yeah.
take that, Tommy. No, but one day he was looking at my stories, and I was just using one of those muscle guns. Have you guys seen those? Like the like the percussion.
Oh, yeah. I just tried one. Those things are awesome.
Right, I have one here. But I was just using that on myself after a personal training session, and he was like, "Hey, can I pay you to use that on me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't see why not." And then I went, "Oh, dummy, why aren't you charging for your services?
Yeah.
This is stupid." But the reasoning, I feel like it took so long to develop that thought, is because as an athletic trainer in school, they don't mention entrepreneurship. They don't talk about autonomy. They don't talk about private practice like they do in some other medical fields. Like physical therapists very often own their own clinic. Obviously chiropractors, but athletic trainers really aren't pushed to be autonomous. So it's almost like it's like a forbidden fruit in some kind of ways. It's like you can do it, but no one tells you how to do it.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I feel like that's a trend in education in general. They teach you how to be employees. They don't quite teach you how
That's
to.
what we always say.
Exactly.
They
Rich
teach you
Dad,
how to-
Poor
college
Dad. You
does.
guys read that book?
Oh, yeah. Robert Kiyosaki.
One of my favorites. But no, I think it's becoming more prevalent. Like the more I get deeper into it, the more people like myself in my profession I'm meeting that have done the same thing, but in their own little way. And it has been discussed with the National Athletic Trainers Association, but it's just not put on blast.
Yeah.
It's like a secret little society that you stumble upon. You're like, oh, I can do this?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's the same with camera stuff. It's almost the same with any business. It's like they don't teach, you have to teach yourself essentially.
Oh, yeah.
So how'd you teach yourself? YouTube University?
I jumped off a bridge, not
Not literally.
Okay,
I
not
hope.
literally, but
Yeah.
like I literally
Off the Hone. She
I
jumped
lit-
off the Hone and into Lake
I literally
Michigan.
just went into entrepreneurship. I just kind of learned as I went. I actually met my business mentor maybe 3 months or so ish into opening my business.
And who's that?
Her name is Alicia Pennington. She is also an athletic trainer that owns her own business. She's out of Arizona. So she has a company that independently contracts athletic trainers to work certain events. So it's a little different than this. It's not so much like clinic care. It's more so, on-site, like whatever sporting events.
Sure, during a sporting event.
But what's interesting is she posted a document saying how to basically open a business as an athletic trainer. And I came across it and went, where the heck was this 3 months ago?
Yeah.
But I had already done 75% of what she wrote about.
Yeah. There you go.
So it happened, but it was, it was a little, like treading through mud, I guess to say, for a while.
No, I feel that.
So it's very surreal. It feels like it all happens so fast, and it's still happening.
And your 1 year anniversary is coming up.
August 1st.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's got to be exciting.
It is. And, it's one of my good friends who's also an entrepreneur always says new level, new devil. So it's like, even though
that's a good one.
My 1 year anniversary is coming up, I feel like I've thrown a bunch of new stuff on my plate. So it feels just as hard, if not, I don't know. I don't want to say harder, but it's just a different kind of challenge.
Yeah.
So that's just the entrepreneur life. You accomplish something and then you're like, ooh, what else can I do to stress myself out?
Do you have any examples? of that?
Like what has changed?
Yeah, what's that next step that you?
Yeah,
that you
absolutely. So when I first started, I was more focused on just employing myself.
Yep.
So
Making money.
Yeah,
paying
after
rent.
reading, a lot of entrepreneurship books, there's two different categories, and there's self-employed, and then there's the true business owner, where your time doesn't directly correlate to money that you spend with people necessarily. So when I first started, it was only me seeing people, treating people, working with injuries, and that was my main goal, was to just establish that kind of like independent revenue and get people to buy into my business and invest in themselves. And now that people know about my business and they know what's offered, it's more so focusing on the passive income part of it, so that I can have a little more time to grow it on the back end and not just constantly work on people.
Yeah.
So I just hired, or I collaborated. She's a physical therapist.
Why do you say collaborated
Because
instead of hired?
she's not my employee per se. She's an independent contractor.
Sure.
So I don't like to say hired, because she's more like my partner than my employee.
Perfect.
That's a business side of thing. I'm sure you understand. And
There's my partner.
right. So I don't.
so weird.
That's a whole nother thing for people getting into business. Like, there's a huge difference, and I'm still learning about it, with like hiring someone and being an employer versus someone being an independent contractor.
Yeah.
So I don't have any employees right now, but I do have 2 independent contractors.
Yeah. And it's hard if you haven't been like an owner with an employee. It's very difficult. We had one, I would say it would be Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Our only one. But like
Yeah.
there's some podcasts that we listen to where they talk about leadership as a skill that you have to build. And you can't be afraid of saying like, we're not friends. Like, we respect you. But like, once you start being friends with somebody, it's like things start to get slacked off. And you have to really learn how to delegate jobs. And when you have a partner,
it's a little different.
It is different.
I've never
easier.
been friends with Dan, so.
If you don't know, Brandon is my cousin.
Okay, no, I didn't know that.
So we are blood, same last names. Brandon is the cousin.
Wine.
And wine.
Yeah. Wine. Last name.
Yeah, but that's so I just I guess brought on board would be, you need more wine. Brought on, I'll talk while you pour your wine.
More wine for the wine.
Brought on board would be a better word for it. Expanded the team at the office. So there's another PT or another AT now, another athletic trainer, including myself, and then now a physical therapist. And I actually also have a collaboration with a sports psychology major that can kind of see people from the mental side of things too, if we need that.
That's excellent.
So it's more so, I would say the biggest change has been from me being just the only person here for clients to like a team of people and medical professionals to work together to treat people that come through the door.
So what's the next step if you were to hire somebody next or partner with somebody next? What are you missing in your business?
I feel like I don't really think that's the best way to phrase it, because you can always add something new to it. So I don't really think anything's necessarily missing per se. I think it's more so you just kind of supply and demand. You grow with what is needed. So I've partnered with a naturopathic doctor, like a primary care doctor. I have an orthopedic doctor, maybe talking to more chiropractors, maybe getting a sports nutritionist. It's just, you can hire so many different people. So it's not so much what's missing, but what else can you add? But I'm already running so fast right now that it's like, if you put too many things on your plate at once, you've probably learned this as an entrepreneur, you'll drown.
Yep.
So I don't care about that right now. What I care about is getting the people that I've brought into my circle, like successful running, getting this office just kind of functioning efficiently before I'm like, well, what else is missing? Even though my brain always wants to jump into something.
It's always
new.
one step at a time.
Right.
That's what we're always about, is you can't...
or 3. I'm more like 3 steps at a time.
If you can handle it, ain't nothing wrong with it.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. You just can't grow faster than you need to. That's what we're always fighting with.
I feel like
there's a pace to it.
There's a pace, but sometimes it just, when you are passionate about something and people can see that, it grows faster than you can keep up with.
And there's a difference between growing too fast because you're passionate about it and growing too fast just because you want to own a business.
And you
I
want
feel,
it to be bigger than it is.
Right.
And then you take over too much and present too much.
Yeah, and I think that's we're very similar in that way because it is a passion. Video and photography, and you with athletic training, and same with Brandon with the SEO and marketing, and it's just growing it.
Yeah, so if you're passionate about something, I always tell people, don't open a business to make money. Like, don't open a business to make money because, yes, there's potential.
Where'd you hear that from? I've heard that too.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
that's just like
that.
a common thing.
People don't understand it.
People
it's
don't
crazy.
listen to it, but it's like, yes, there's money in entrepreneurship, definitely. But it's like if you think about that as number one, you're never going to make the money because people are going to see right through it. Like, you have to be passionate, and then everyone wants a piece of it. When you love something and you are passionate about it, that's when everybody's like, hey, how can I be a part of this? Not, I want to make a bunch of money, and it just doesn't work that way.
So your mentor, what is one thing that she taught you? One of the biggest things that she taught you that you
putting me on the spot
currently use today?
It's really hard because I feel like she's such a great resource. But I feel like she does like to focus in on things a lot. So like, what is going to be, the most relevant thing at this time, and kind of like putting the rest of the things on the back burner.
Sure.
So she does that a lot, saying like, what is our focus right now? And I think that would be her thing, is slowing me down, because I have a tendency to, like I said, put a lot of things on my plate and try to like put energy in all these little projects. And she's more like, what are we focusing on right now? Would be my thing, I think.
No, that's exactly where I am. I had a mentor, Erin, and she was a personal trainer at UW Milwaukee. Have you heard of Erin Maris?
I don't think so.
She started a company up in Mequon called Equilibrium Evolution. And I think it's closed because of COVID, unfortunately. But that was the one thing that she always taught me, was just to relax the mind, like clear it, the meditation side of it, the yoga side of it. Because when I was in college, that's not who I was. The sitting down, the meditating, and it is a skill to sit there.
It's such a skill.
Clear your mind and just breathe. And there was something that Joe Rogan said too. It's like when he's in like the what's that thing called? The deprivation. Yeah, the deprivation tank.
The flotation.
The flotation. Yeah.
I haven't tried that, but
it's cool. There's Float MKE. And I know the owner, and that's a hilarious story. Made a video with him, and then it's a story for another time.
Okay.
But anyways, what was he saying? Joe Rogan was saying breathing. He focuses on his breathing. And if you can't clear your mind, or you're not good at clearing your mind, if you focus on one thing, which is your breathing, that's how you can start the process of clearing your mind and getting good at that. So that's what I've been focusing on a lot, is like, I'll run the hills at UW or at Bradford Beach.
Yeah.
And that's where Erin took me when I was in college. That's where the class was. But after that, I'll take the yoga mat and just sit out in front of the lake. And that's always in my head, is like, sit there and just breathe. And it is amazing that you do start to develop a skill where now you can clear your mind, and now you can understand, even in today's like hustle and bustle, where there's so much to do, but you just kind of sit there, or you take a shower and you just kind of like relax and refresh your mind, and then you get back at it.
I was going to say, coming off of that, I think another thing she has tried to project onto me is the rest and recovery side of things. And, when you need a break, like, take that break. Don't. I think there's a kind of a, I don't know how to say it, but like a negative connotation associated with entrepreneurship. Like, there's almost like a glorified hustle is what I like to call it.
Okay.
Like they glorify hustle. And yes, it's good to work hard.
We see that on LinkedIn a lot.
But like, you can't just, they pretty much have the philosophy like, don't sleep, work. But it's like, when you get burnt out, then you have nothing left to keep going. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's my biggest struggle, is I'm always like, I want to get everything done and I want it to happen now. I don't have a lot of patience. But then you get burnt out. Like, I'm pretty tired today. But then when you, like, today I went golfing. I took a golf lesson. I went to the driving range. And,
where at, by the way?
Gastros?
Is it in Milwaukee?
That's a driving range, but I went to Kettle Hills for my lesson.
Okay, cool.
But the reason I love jiu-jitsu, I love golf is because activities like that force you to focus. Because if you don't focus, like if you don't focus in jiu-jitsu, you get choked out. If you don't focus in golf, it's just not going to happen.
You lose your ball.
You know that, like with golf, you literally have to be 100% there. If you're not, it just doesn't work. And I'm starting to learn that. But activities like that for a person like me force you to take yourself out of your own mind versus like trying to sit there and meditate and like, okay, sit here and meditate. And I wholeheartedly believe in meditation, but I think sometimes giving yourself an activity that kind of forces you to have that focus is really good too.
And those are both very individual sports,
Yeah.
golf and jiu-jitsu,
I do that with improv and comedy and stand-up.
which is an individual thing as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, improv because
Improv
you don't
maybe
get to
not so
think.
much.
You like you literally you're supposed to think, but you don't get
That's
to.
like freestyle rapping.
And I like to do that. I like to do that
He's
too.
so good at it.
I won't be doing it right now. But
He was rapping about our podcast before this. I wish we recorded that. It was
Throw
really
some
good.
beats down.
Yeah, boom.
Drink a little bit more of that whiskey. Get it going. You will. I'm not going to be freestyling today. Maybe next time.
That's how we end every podcast.
Yeah.
You said you would.
That's our challenge.
Nah.
Put on the beat.
See, but
DJ B-Dog.
That's. I mean, if you want me to look bad, we could definitely do that.
Oh, no. We want you to
gotta
look good
make
in
Dan
this.
look
Yeah.
bad at the end.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
because
that's the point.
I don't know about my freestyling
If we
skills.
rolled, I would have put up a fight, but also like you do kick my ass
I
sometimes.
was
That's
going
for
to say,
sure.
I'm
No,
pretty
we-
rusty. I'm a little rusty.
We finished a roll once, and you just like dissed me so hard, where you're like, you said something about weight, where like if you weren't bigger than me, I'd kick your ass, and I'm like, oh, okay, you weren't wrong. Like the technique, you have the technique.
Oh, yeah. Well,
No, you're there. You were not wrong.
you know, that's just the competitive side. I feel like it's just a natural personality that does happen in a lot of people, entrepreneurs, people like us, like that competitiveness of,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a confidence thing. But jiu-jitsu is great though when, you know, it does humble you because you have to roll with people that are,
Oh, does it ever?
it humbles
Does it
you. Like
ever?
people that are higher belts than you and you just get your
The first 4 months of jiu-jitsu, I'd come back with bruises all over me.
yeah, or
It changed my diet, to
just
be
feel
honest.
like I'm like a roller coaster. I felt like I was on a roller coaster. Like the first couple of times I rolled with a couple people and I just got, you know, like tossed around in the air and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but
It doesn't matter what it is.
It's cool.
As far as like jiu-jitsu or any sort of those classes, if once you get into it, you just learn pretty quick that you're not shit. And there's a lot of people out there that can mess you
Especially
up.
in MMA.
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Which is
getting really
amazing.
exciting though because I feel like that feeling of looking stupid ties into entrepreneurship so much.
Oh my god.
Like
that's a great
between
point.
both
It does.
jiu-jitsu and golf, like when you start, because I'm decent at jiu-jitsu now, crappy at golf. Obviously, I just started. I've
Can
only
you
had
strike the ball? How's the golf game?
It is actually, I consistently make contact.
Good.
Nice.
Now it's just hitting it straight, right?
There's
You
some,
are.
my short game's decent. My drive is inconsistent. But the point is,
Drive is the hardest part of my
the
game,
point
too.
It's the one part I
is-
have.
that you have to be in all of those and entrepreneurship. You have to be willing to look stupid or fail.
Yeah. And getting used to it, too. Getting used to failing. God, we fail.
Dude.
I fail.
Incredible
The
amount.
first thing I thought of when you said that was me running around. So I've been learning everything as far as videography from Dan.
Right.
And when we go to events, I just look, Dan just makes fun of me because Dan's so good at blending in and getting great shots.
Right.
And I'm just like, I throw myself in a situation and I go after it. I don't care, but I just look like
Yeah.
a moron in the middle of the room.
It's
trying
okay.
To,
You
trying
gotta
learn.
do that.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
open a business or start a new sport and expect to just look great. Like it just doesn't happen. You know, I still some days don't know what I'm doing completely, but you know, you just keep going.
And that's where
And-
partners come in, too. I'm a good partner for you.
Yes, you
Anything you need with the video, I got you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's the difference between being a business owner and self-employed. Self-employed, you make money for yourself, but you're not a business owner if all the money you generate is coming from you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a true business owner. Even if you own a business,
Yeah.
you're not a true business owner until you bring other people into the equation. You give someone else a job.
It's the difference between freelance and a business owner.
Right. So I'd say that's been like the biggest change over the past few months. But I'm so excited about it. Like you just feel so good about being on a team and giving someone an opportunity from something you created it's a good feeling.
And now you got this beautiful office too.
Yeah.
This one, and you're expanding.
Yep.
Morgan is expanding to the other side of this building.
I wanted the whole first floor, and that's another thing I actually manifested. I used to make jokes, like the girl who lived across the hall, because it was a residence. I got along with her. I actually used to manage this building, and that's how I found the space. Backstory
What
to
do you
that.
mean manage the building?
Like I used
For a company?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I first started being an entrepreneur, I kind of put this in my first blog post, but I was working 4 jobs. That included managing these 2 buildings. My
Oh yeah, you live there too.
Yep, I lived and managed this. Did personal
Did you get free rent?
No, they pay you like it comes off your rent.
Okay.
Pretty darn cheap. Like
Sure.
enough that it was worth doing it until I got overwhelmed with the 4 jobs.
It's being smart. It's being an entrepreneur.
But anyways, that's how I found this space. But for the longest time, I kept saying, oh, she's going to move out and I'm going to take over that space. She's going to move out and I'm going to take over that space. It was kind of a joke all the times I said it. But then come, the end of her lease, she moves out. And then,
There
ready
you
or
go.
not, here I come. So that's, that's manifestation, I guess, at its finest.
Yeah, and you took advantage
That's
of it.
kind of like entrepreneurship. That's why not everybody's built for it, because sometimes you have to take paths you're not ready for and do it anyways, and just kind of pray to Jesus or, hope that it works out.
It's an opportunity that came up and you took it.
Right. And if it doesn't work out, then it's a fail. If it does, then that's great.
And there ain't nothing wrong with the fails, as we learn in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, some days you might feel like, I think I texted this to my cousin. I was like, with entrepreneurship, some days you're like, I'm making all this money. This is great. This is amazing. And other days you're like, man, am I going to be able to pay my rent? It's like you have great months and you have, not so great months. And that's, I think, comes with the first few years of business. You have like this roller coaster.
Yeah, and you're at year 1. They say it takes 5 years.
Well, that's not going to happen. It's going to be less than that with me because I'm stubborn.
Hell yeah.
Probably going to be more like
Because you're confident.
2. I give it 2.
2 years to be
Yes.
successful? Fully successful?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
3 at the most.
She is confident.
I'll say 2.
That's why she can diss me in jiu-jitsu.
2, 3 at the most, but I'm going to aim for 2.
Sure.
I'll let you in on a little secret.
Please
I am
do.
planning on expanding into Chicago, like a second location.
How did that come up?
I was just sitting on my couch one day and I decided I wanted to move to Chicago. But I don't want to completely get rid of this because it's, it's beautiful and I've built it up. So I'm going to split my time between the 2 cities.
So are you going to get an office and rent out an apartment, or how's that going to work?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Well, I'll probably...
Those are some goals.
Always. Well, that's what I'm saying. New level, new devil. You just constantly dream of new ways to stress yourself out or challenge yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So take us through your first year. How did you get clients? How did you find the space? What did
Well,
that
the
look
space I found because I was managing.
like? Okay.
So I was originally going to rent a space down the street that was 1 room. $300 1 room. And I thought, hey, this is kind of affordable. It's like equivalent to what I'm making with the 1 client I have. I could break even. Then I go into the office, the real estate company I was managing for, and they told me they were renting this twice, double the amount of money, but like 3 times the square footage. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is a beautiful space. I can't say no. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but I can't say no. So that's how I got this space. Client-wise, a lot of people came from the MMA community. Just
Is that the majority, would you say?
when I started, yes.
Okay.
Now it's a mix of a bunch of different people. But I feel the key thing to being a business owner is you have to be a people person and you have to have a network. Because if I would have tried to start this 3 years ago, it would have failed. Because working in my company for 6 years, being in the MMA community, being a personal trainer, because I had so many hands in so many different pots, I just had so many people to pull from that eventually people started to filter in. But
Sure.
I didn't make enough money to cover my overhead rent from my business revenue until at least 6 months into business.
Okay.
So for the first, half year, I was funding it from half business revenue and half personal money. So, the clients just slowly grew. You establish yourself on social media, and it's just word of mouth. I did do a free, not a free, but like a really cheap Google ad. I think it was only $200.
Okay.
And one of my long-term clients did come from there, but most people that have been in here is just from word of mouth and just being a people person. And not being overly badgering to, like salesy. You have to know your worth and be good with marketing and be confident, but you don't want to be like come off as desperate either, because people don't like that.
Yeah, it's
like,
it's
hey,
a hard thing.
you coming in. Like, no, I'm here if you need me, but whenever you're ready.
Do you ever do like cold calls?
I do warm calls.
There you go. Warm calls is the best way. That's how we do all ours.
I wouldn't say they're cold. Like, usually the people I call have either reached out to me with interest or, it's usually there's already some kind of connection established, or maybe someone recommended me to them. It's never like me just calling someone, they've never heard of me before. Like,
sure.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's not my style.
What about reviews? How do you deal with reviews?
Yeah. So I'm on Google reviews right now. And
how many reviews do you have?
I have 11 now.
Are you 5?
5 stars, 11 reviews.
I'll review you if you review me.
Deal.
That
does help though, especially with local traction. I actually just completely shifted my booking system over in Vigaro, and they actually have online reviews too. For the longest time, Yelp really annoyed the crap out of me. I do not like Yelp.
We have a bad relationship with that.
I don't like Yelp.
Nope. No.
Yelp, you will never have my business.
I don't think a lot of people.
I don't even want to be on Yelp. I don't even want to be on Yelp because they called me. Talk about cold calling. They cold called me for like 4 months straight.
Yeah,
and
same.
I was like, bro, just let me live.
Yep.
Like,
if I heard, because I did research for a client on Yelp, and what I found was if you're already on Yelp, to essentially, if they're going to call you and about sales, to say, I'm not really interested right now, but call me in 6 months, because
you can't reject them.
Because if you reject them, then they start tanking your rankings on Yelp.
Gosh, well, I don't have any ratings on Yelp, and I don't really care about it.
So
I prefer Google reviews because it's no pressure. People can.
Yelp still a thing?
And people are held accountable, so you see who's leaving the review. It's not some random person.
I prefer Google reviews over anything else right now.
I feel like Yelp is mainly for like restaurants. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I don't.
And they're
feel the
trying
need
to go towards
Yelp.
everybody else, and it's like restaurants. You just stick with one thing. Yelp. Come on now.
Honestly, what
You're
I've gotten
yourself.
the most traction from is, yes, I have some Google reviews, but it's just people sharing word of mouth on social media. Like, if you are trying to be a business owner and you have not created a social media account in this day and age, you're stupid. I'm sorry.
You stupid.
I mean, you're not stupid, but like you gotta do it. Even if you don't feel like doing it, it takes a while to slowly build it up. But once people start sharing your stories, people start noticing, like during COVID, the reason I got actually a boost in clientele, like towards the end of it, when people were starting to venture back out, was because people were paying attention more to online stuff. So it's kind of like, you have to do it.
And you post quite a lot. I see a lot, and you have
I post more than I used to.
Yeah, you have 2 accounts. You got your personal, and you got your business, and you're promoting each. Do you have a YouTube?
I do, but I don't really use it as much. But
why not?
Because I got a lot of stuff on my plate, and it's not priority.
Sure.
I started a couple videos on YouTube, and now that I have 2 other people in here, it might be something where, we film some stuff and extend it out to that. But it's just a lot when you're a business owner. Like, you are wearing like 100 different hats. And it's like you have to focus on what is going to get me the most traction right now. Is YouTube going to help? Probably, but is that my focus? Not right now.
How do you see YouTube helping if you were to use YouTube? Because it isn't a local thing, whereas Instagram can be more local.
I feel like people utilize YouTube for more in-depth education versus like Instagram's more, they have Instagram TV and whatnot, but it's a little more like short segmented versus YouTube could be, I feel like a lot of people use it for like tutorials, like
how-tos.
Like how-tos.
Exactly.
So I feel like I could branch into that, but it's just...
Have you ever thought of doing content along the lines of like stretches for this pain or different things you can do for certain types of pain.
Oh, for sure. I was doing Mobility Monday for
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks on my Instagram, but I just feel like I've gotten enough traction from Instagram. And the thing I like about Instagram and Facebook is people can reshare it. With YouTube, you have to copy the link.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like an easy reshare like social media, like,
Mm-hmm.
well, YouTube is. But Instagram and Facebook, like, you press one little button and all of a sudden someone else sees it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's more efficiency in Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, it's hitting the algorithms.
I think YouTube is more of, I feel like there are different demographics you're targeting.
I feel like it would be harder for you to monetize YouTube
Right.
than it would be for Instagram.
I feel like YouTube for me would be more of a supplement. Like, you could post it on Instagram and Facebook, but then
Yeah.
you say, there's a link to
Yeah.
this.
If you're using YouTube, it would probably be for like ad revenue, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about jumping on the YouTube bandwagon
No.
at the moment, but
No, not at the moment. In 2 years, once you're well established and you
can pay
have Chicago
someone to
and
post
Milwaukee.
videos to YouTube for me.
Yeah.
But it's just too much work when you're a business owner, you really have to delegate your time and energy. That's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Because every decision you make, everything you do is going to take away from your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I only book clients 3 to 4 days a week. And the other days, I don't even open my schedule up because I know now from experience that if I don't have 3 to 4 days that are empty for my brain to work for my business,
Yeah.
it's just me using all my energy and giving it directly to treating people.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
And on top of treating people, you have to run your own business too.
right, you have to everything. I don't even need to list all the responsibilities, but it's
Nope.
everything. Like,
We
you
know.
literally, things like, okay, so for example, right now, I
Mm-hmm.
am building my own website.
Congratulations. We were just on it today. Is that
The front page is done, but
there's one page.
I have zero website building experience, zero coding, zero nothing.
If you need some help, we got you.
Right. I know. But the thing is, I value people and I value their expertise in work, and I like to pay people accordingly for their value. And right
Yep.
now, I have a lot of money in the air with other things I'm working on, so I cannot pay people to build a website for me right
Sure.
now.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, will I pay for a really high quality website? Yes.
You have exactly what you need, though. It says schedule an appointment, and then
Right.
it brings you to where?
Vigaro.
Vigaro. That's
Right.
what
I'm
you
going to
use.
add other pages to it, but my point is sometimes you can't pay for everything. And as a business owner, you have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And that other stuff, you have to figure it out. I've been wanting to murder myself over using WordPress. Like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
It's not easy. It's YouTube. You got to use YouTube.
But my point is, I delegate a lot of time and energy into that right now. And you have to kind of decide, where am I going to put my energy? Because as a business owner, you could put it so many places. And I could clean my whole office. I pay someone to clean my office. I pay for certain things because, yes, there's ways to cut corners and save money, but you also have to consider your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do everything yourself, you're not going to have any energy left to run your business.
Maybe you just don't clean.
Yeah, I don't. That's not really an option when you own
I'm just kidding.
a health and wellness clinic. We clean here.
Yeah.
We clean here.
That's a good thing.
Especially,
It's your
we're
slogan.
kind of in the middle of a
Yeah.
pandemic, so I'd say cleaning is high priority.
That should be every company's slogan. We clean here.
We clean here. Yeah, we clean here. We do clean here. So, but there's a lot of hats you can wear. It'd be overwhelming to even write the list of all the different things, maintenance, cleaning, marketing, being a clinician, an accountant,
What do you use for accounting?
So I just a few months ago got QuickBooks.
That's what we just did too. We got
And I officially have an appointment with the CPA this month. I haven't had an accountant up until now.
Congrats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Sometimes you just don't have the money
Yep.
to hire
No,
those
I feel
people, and
you.
you have to be that person until you can afford that person.
Yep.
I have an attorney, but when I first started, I didn't have an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
You add people as you go. You can't be ready. Being fully ready is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you wait till you're fully ready, it just is not going to happen.
Nobody's ever ready.
It's
don't think
terrifying.
anyone's
It's
ever ready.
terrifying. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. You're like, how do I? You have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. So that's the entrepreneurship kind of, I think, slogan is just figure it out.
Figure it out. Just figure it out yourself.
You know, and
just do it.
You got to try. And if you really can't do it, then you have to hire someone to do it and find the money somehow to make that happen.
Yeah. No, Angela from Milwaukee said that. Don't cut yourself thin, hire somebody. If you don't know how to do it, just hire somebody.
Right. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you got to think, because sometimes you have to spend money to get further and get the investment back.
Spend money to make money.
Even if it's scary at the time. Like, I'm expanding into that new space.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're being 100% real here, like when I expanded, I didn't necessarily have that revenue to cover that on a business side of things. But I have a really great person that's going to utilize that space and hopefully generate that revenue to cover it. But as an entrepreneur, you're taking on that risk of, am I going to be able to generate enough revenue to cover that? Or am I going to have to figure out a way personally to cover that?
Yeah.
And you just kind of play around with that idea in your brain. Think about it.
Yeah. You'll figure it out one step at a time.
Figure it out.
You'll figure it out. Just do it.
You just figure it out.
You just do it.
Yeah.
That's what people don't get too, is like, once you invest yourself into it, you're pretty much obligated to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you will figure it out.
That's the best way to do it, though.
You will figure it out.
Once I quit my job and
You got to figure it out.
Yeah, you have to figure it out.
For real.
It's the same with this.
It's either that or go back. And it's like,
You don't want to go back?
No.
Okay, I have a really good pearl of wisdom that I've heard a couple times too. So for a lot of people, they feel it's more risky to be an entrepreneur, right? It's risky to be in business.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think, let's say you're working for a corporate company and you don't want to take the jump. You are already in your worst case scenario if you're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're working for your corporate job, you're already in your worst case scenario. So why not take a chance if you really want to do this? Because the worst thing that can happen is you go back to your worst case scenario.
Yeah.
It's like if this didn't tank for me or it didn't work and it tanked, like I would just go, apply for another athletic training job. Would I like it? No. But it'd just be right back to where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally listening to Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you know who he is. And he was discussing how if you're not happy with the scenario you're in and you wait and you don't take that step, 5 years from now, you'll be in the same spot, but you'll be more miserable on top of that. You'll lose the good things that you had going for you, and you'll bring out more of the negative aspects about yourself. Plus, you'll just be more comfortable to the point where it's more likely never to happen. So he says there's no right answer. It's either try to take a step forward or be in the same spot, but you could fail, and there's just never a right answer.
If I knew that I wanted to start a business before I actually wanted to start a business, though, because some people know, 3 years ahead of time, like, I want to open a business, I want to be an entrepreneur, and they have more patience than I do, then I would highly recommend trying to have some, money saved up, like 10 G's at least. 10 G's, 10 to 15 G's to because there's going to be so many unexpected expenses with your business. Mm-hmm. If you want to be less stressed and a little more comfortable, that would be ideal. But, it just doesn't always work like that. But that's the one thing I would have changed is having a little money kind of put to the side for it before starting it. Mm-hmm. But that still didn't stop me from starting it.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice.
Did you need to take out funding for this?
I did a business credit card, so a business line of credit that I used. And then the rest I just kind of funded from my own personal expenses.
Did you pay it back? Credit card already?
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's still startup debt. And that's, I think the ugly side that people don't understand is there's profit in it, but not enough to, sustain your living, cut down on it takes a while to generate enough revenue to be able to chip that away. Yeah. So it's like you're growing. And, some other things is when I started, I would have I like to make people happy. So I buy the expensive soap. You do things where you could have cut corners and I didn't. So I also would have considered that probably a little more too.
Sure,
do I really need the $10 soap?
Yes, you do.
Maybe.
It's about making your clients happy.
I enjoyed your soap. I enjoyed your soap very much.
Okay. But it's lasted me a while. That $10 soap.
Hibiscus tea.
It is not hibiscus tea.
She's got the hibiscus tea.
I'm pretty sure it's lilac or something.
I made that up. I don't know.
But my point is, I put quality over everything when opening my business. And I think that has what's made it successful, but it's expensive. Like quality is expensive.
But that's what people are looking for.
And
They want to be pampered and treated.
for sure.
And if you're offering it, they're going to come back for it.
Right. So it's like you might be a year in and you might not. I would say from overhead perspective, yes, I'm profiting, but from startup debt, technically not yet. A year in. So, but give me one more year to be gone. Because things are in the works. 1
year from now, we'll do another podcast.
We will.
And we'll see where you're at.
I'll probably have 3 locations by then.
Oh my God.
Next time, I'm going to lay on the bed, though. I'm going to lay on the massage
Brandon's
bed.
like, okay, when we're doing this podcast,
right.
I'm going to lay here and you both are going to be giving me massages. That's a no.
Okay.
I think, you can.
I tried.
Well, I won't be giving you the massage.
I was going to
anyways.
say you would be.
I'll give him the massage gun.
Right. What is happening right now?
Yeah. Maybe at the Chicago location.
Yeah.
Deal?
No deal. No deal.
Where's the third location?
Probably somewhere warm. Because I have 2 cold locations. I feel like I need a warm one.
Where's the warm one going to be? Any prospects?
I don't know yet.
What do you like? What kind of
my
what
business
area do you
mentor's
like?
in Arizona.
That's a good warm.
Maybe Arizona.
That's a low humidity warm.
Somewhere I can fly to go somewhere warm.
In the summer, it's like 120, 110.
But 0 humidity,
Yeah,
which can be nice.
for sure.
Can be nice. Oh, somebody's rocking out there.
They want to be on the podcast.
Yeah, they're trying to see it.
So, yeah, big goals, big dreams. That's how it goes. It just snowballs into, it's like this tiny little snowball, and then it just keeps going and going. And sometimes you get buried in snow, and sometimes you don't.
You dig out.
Yeah, you shovel
You got
yourself
other people.
out.
When the avalanche comes down, you got other people shoving down sticks to find you.
Sometimes.
No, you don't like that analogy? I thought that was funny. No massage.
I'm still on that, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
all right. Arizona. The third one,
location.
Arizona. You get to massage Brandon
Okay,
during
let's end this.
during a podcast. Okay, maybe it's the wine talking. I feel like I've been going ham on this wine.
She's on what?
Are you on your first
She's
glass?
on her
No,
first.
this is my second
Okay,
glass.
I
It's
thought
my
you-
second.
I
Right.
thought you were on your first, and I just keep seeing
Yeah,
Dan
I'm
pour.
just pouring.
I'm like, how much
He's
wine is in that?
he's
how
rewriting
much
the
wine is in
questions
that
as we
bottle?
speak.
Ryan says as long as you don't finish it, it still counts as one.
One of
So
our
I've never
clients.
fully finished this wine glass.
Yes, that is true.
So I'm on 1. What are you on? 2?
This is 2.
I'm on 1. Cheers.
Cheers.
I feel like we need like a live audience. Like, what other questions about entrepreneurship would people want to know?
That is the next step.
That's
Live
the-
live
A live
stream.
audience.
our
Live
next step.
stream. Yeah. Live,
And then Brandon's going to
live
have the
stream,
laptop there.
and then have people asking questions.
I would be in for that. That would be fun.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Like and subscribe, and we will do that.
I will like and subscribe.
we
There's
are
another one.
always working towards the next step, just like
Obviously.
you. New
Yeah.
level,
Obviously.
new devil.
And
Level, new
YouTube works
devil.
for us because maybe not for personal business, but because of this, because we like to educate people and we want other people to succeed. And YouTube is a lot of knowledge. And I think that's where we can come in and we can help other people is we have all this equipment because that's our job. That's what we do. We help other companies grow through website design, through social media. So how can we do it on the free end? We can promote other businesses, but on the same token, we can help others grow with the how-to videos on YouTube.
Right.
So that's where we're at. And it's just growing it one step at a time. Thank you. You are number 9. Number 9. Who
Number
knew we
9.
would get to number 9?
Yeah.
Which is pretty exciting. Brandon's got number 10. So what we do is we switch off.
Okay.
I started out 1. Brandon's got 2.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
And we flip who's behind the camera.
And it keeps us it keeps us honest too, because we got 2 weeks to get somebody new. And 2 weeks is a decent amount of time. You don't get somebody in 2 weeks.
Help with the ums. Both have to public
Well,
speak.
I am part of an all-women female entrepreneurship group, and there's like 70 or 80 women in it.
I did see that. What's that called?
Boss Ladies Milwaukee.
Boss Ladies.
Hell yeah. We would love
So
to.
pretty
there's
cool.
some
Any of them
really
available.
powerful women in there, much more powerful than I.
Can you hook us up? You
sure.
get us the next podcast, please. All right,
mean,
I got number 11 with Boss Ladies. Who's your
Wait,
10?
I want boss ladies.
No. I found this.
I mean,
There's a competition here.
I'm part of Boss Ladies, but there's a lot
All right, I got number one of
There's a
Boss
lot
Ladies.
more Boss Ladies. It just depends on what industry you want to interview, but
Every industry.
gardening, beauty, business
That's
to
the beauty
business.
of this.
Well, Dan, if it's beauty, you
marketing.
can't be on camera.
I am beautiful. Are you dissing me?
No,
Tell me I'm beautiful.
no.
But there's a lot of awesome women in that group, so
Okay, who would you recommend?
everybody.
Everybody.
Jackie Herms is a badass.
I've heard that name.
She's
That's a marketing firm, isn't it?
hmm
I know Jackie.
Jackie's amazing.
I've met her.
She is a client of mine and a friend
Aw.
and part of Boss Ladies. Diana is also amazing. She owns Goddess Beauty Studio in Whitefish Bay.
Mm.
She's also amazing and really knowledgeable and very welcoming.
Mhm.
There's a lot of women in there. You know,
Okay.
that would just be great to
Well,
interview.
we would
Give you
love
the-
to
give
help
you the-
promote. That's what we're about.
Give you the list, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
No.
it's a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So, what is your definition of success?
Ooh. So I actually talked with a close friend about this a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
And my definition of success has shifted
Okay.
over the past year.
And explain how it has shifted.
So, when people think of success, a lot of people think of money, material
do.
things.
And real quick, Robert Kiyosaki, that's one thing he said, is there's a difference between wealth and being rich.
Right.
Wealth is owning assets. Being rich is you just have
Right.
money and there's no income. So when you can offset liabilities with the assets, that's when you are truly wealthy. And then everything on top of that is true gain. And it's not just being rich. Sorry.
No, I
Robert
read both books
Yep.
too. I love it.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
But no, I'd say part of the success obviously is financial independence, money, yada, yada. Everybody knows that. But the other part is, what is your impact? What is your
Sure.
impact that you've made on the world? So I've added that to my definition of success. Like, sure, you make money for yourself, you're financially independent, but what have you done to create a longer lasting impact on the world with what you've created? So that's my definition of success. How many people have I employed or given, opportunities to do the same thing I've done and get out of the corporate world? How many people that have come through my door have gotten better because of being able to utilize my services? Like, it's more of the impact rather than just the money.
Sure.
And with the impact and the money, they kind of, I guess they go hand in
The
hand.
money
but-
flows.
And money flows,
There's-
but money is just energy. That's what I always tell myself, and why you got to be indifferent about it. You got to be, I'm working on this, but you got to be indifferent when you're making a lot, and you got to be indifferent when you're not making a lot, because it's going to fluctuate like this, right? So money is just energy. It comes and goes, but impact is impact. Impact doesn't, it's just not going to fluctuate like that. It's like you either make an impact or you don't make an impact.
Yeah.
Right?
Jordan Peterson, he had another great quote. Something that he said that reminds me of exactly that. You will know 1,000 people in your life, and I will know 1,000 people in my life. Right? And that puts me one person away from knowing 1 million people, and 2 people away from knowing 1 billion people. So the things that you do and don't do resonate on a scale that you can't possibly imagine.
Right.
So basically, it's just saying that whenever you have an opportunity, take the opportunity. And I think that resonates exactly with what you've been saying. And
we appreciate you taking the opportunity to talk to us.
yeah,
Of course.
it's an opportunity to help others. It's an opportunity for you and us. And
I'm
Thank
always
you.
open. If anybody ever wants to reach out besides you guys, I'm not that kind of entrepreneur that, my behind the scenes workings aren't, it's not like a secret. Like, I will tell people the struggles. I will tell people the successes, how I did, what I did. I don't.
so what's great about our age too, the millennial
I'm open.
generation, is there are so many different industries that we can be a part of. And you were told as a kid, I know there was that stigma, you can be anything.
Right.
And there was that stigma, and all these old people
if you
used
go
to give
to
a shit.
college.
Yeah, all these. Yeah,
That's another discussion, right? You could be
That's a
anything
whole-
if you go to college.
that's what the old people think. You don't have to go to college to be anything.
You
I think
don't
all
have
three
to
of
go to
us
college.
did,
I had
pursue
to
a
be
dream.
in the medical field, but you can definitely be successful without going to college.
Yeah,
You can't.
I tried to be a doctor, but they said you didn't go to medical field, so took my shot. Didn't work
Yeah,
out.
you took the shot, and we can all
Hey,
appreciate
you
you
shoot
for that.
your shot, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's how you roll.
Yeah. So I said, Mom, can't be a ear doctor. They told me I need the degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyways, sorry. That was my attempt.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we appreciate you for being with us here today and giving out knowledge to everybody else. I hope everybody else enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. We are thinking of doing for our challenge, you being an athletic trainer, is a yoga. How would we consider this?
Okay, rewind though, because athletic training and yoga doesn't really.
Okay. How would you
I mean, we could do.
link it together?
I
was
would-
about to
I
roll
wouldn't-
in jujitsu, and that
I
doesn't. That
wouldn't
has
link
nothing
athletic
without
training
athletic
to
training.
yoga.
I was geeking so hard at the thought of you in an office rolling. Like,
Well, okay, so I was
Yoga's
under.
just a separate passion of mine that I'm.
But so
happen
is
to be-
jujitsu, isn't it?
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
But I'd roll with you, and I'd kick your ass.
be some WWE
I'm just kidding.
stuff.
it's not happening right now. I'm a little tired to be doing jujitsu
All
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
And you're
jujitsu.
taking it, you're capitalizing because I haven't trained in like 4 months.
I haven't either.
See what he's trying to do? He's trying to slide in when I'm weak
It's an
so that he
it's the
can.
entrepreneur
He
way.
does that with everyone.
Right, like
I'm just
he's
kidding.
like, we haven't been training. I could kick your ass. Like, okay,
I just wanted the comeback.
Noted.
I was looking for a
Noted.
comeback.
noted.
All right. We'll get the jujitsu roll soon. You have a video of you beating me on jujitsu,
I
don't
do.
you?
I sure do.
Can you please send that to me?
I will.
I'm gonna pull. Please, actually, I'm gonna
I
pull
really
it up
do.
every time
Yeah,
I need.
she-
I
dance.
got a
She
nice
sent it to
little,
me. You sent
a
it to
nice
me
little
afterwards.
hip toss and
Yeah.
some pressure.
She sent it to me afterwards and was like, "Oh, you didn't know I was filming, but I got you." Okay. Damn it. All right.
We
Every-
could do
every
like,
time
we
his
could do
ego
some
gets
yoga
inflated.
balance though,
Yeah.
but like
There's no ego in jujitsu. That's the beautiful
yeah,
thing
right.
about
No,
it. There's no ego. You can't
We're-
come in
It
with
sounds
ego.
like it, but we're I think
No.
we're good with it.
It's all in good fun.
I think we're good with it.
Nope, it's all in good fun. We're both white belts, aren't you?
Yep. How many
how many-
stripes you got?
I'm at two. I'm at 2 stripes, Professor. You owe me the 3rd stripe because I'm at like 125 hours, and I'm a boss man. Okay, I'm not that good. But
I'm
See,
just
and that's
saying.
why I need the video for that ego.
3.
3 stripes.
Yeah.
I have 3.
Stripes
Okay.
mean nothing.
And a couple medals. If you
I-
look behind you,
I saw
they're
those.
all
I'm
gold.
jealous.
They're all
I have
gold. I haven't.
I have no medals.
So
I have 2 tournaments with no medals.
So the
2
challenge,
tournaments with medals.
yoga challenge. What's going down?
I don't know. You tell me.
I do a balance and you copy it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so it's
pig,
like
we'll
horse.
play. I was gonna say
We'll play
pig. Dog. Yeah, and we can have Rex in it.
That'll make it so much more complicated.
No, we can have Rex in the corner. We
Okay,
can,
I was gonna say
yeah.
he might.
We'll play dog, and then winner gets to keep Rex.
All right.
No, I'm just.
Well, there's no way in.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Morgan Shae, everybody. Thank you.
Woo!
Stick around for dog.
I heard dog. I heard dog earlier.
Dog.
That's.
All right, we're good.
The challenge is Morgan
Arm balances.
is going to do a set of arm balances, and if I can't get it, it's dog.
Okay.
It's a D. It's an O. It's a G. For everyone that you know basketball.
I'm dying already. I'm dying already. Maybe I should just.
Hands cannot bend in these ways.
And then you gotta like do push up.
How about that? How about that? How about that?
All right. Ready? Up towards your elbow.
That's my specialty.
I'll be working, and he just holds that pose for
Take
hours.
watch off. And then balances, and then you lift that back leg up. Come on, you can do it.
Nope.
You get a letter.
I got D.
You
D.
get a letter.
What in the fuck?
Lizard. Flying lizard. This one comes underneath. You sweat it?
I'm sweating watching.
How about that? Alright, fine.
Did you accept that?
I'll accept it. Flying pigeon.
1, 2.
Okay. All right.
Is it accepted?
2. Okay.
Called the don't dive. This pool is very shallow.
Hands flat.
All right, D. Oh. Okay. Whoa.
I'm dying.
Look at that.
You have to bring it up and then straighten your leg out.
I can't straighten my leg. I'm a man. I'm a man.
All right. DOG, and next time we'll work on the flexibility. I lost. What's up, guys? It's Dan. Hope you liked that podcast. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to support us, hit subscribe. We want to hear from you. What industry are you looking to learn more about? We come out with a podcast every Thursday. See you next week.